20, this next one is really long. It's 04, but I gotta get to it. Are authorizing the Hawkins County to allow the Terry Law Firm to enter into litigation on its behalf against HolstonConnects in reference to franchise fees not being paid. Is there a motion to send this one forward, or at least put it on the floor to discuss?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Any discussion?
What is it this pertaining to, Mr. Chairman?
So we received a call, and I'm gonna give you and I've spoken to Barack Terry from the Terry Law Firm, and I'll give you the summary version because I don't know that I was smart enough to understand everything that he said to go into the detailed version. But essentially, Tennessee Code Annotated allows for local governments to receive a franchise fee to operate within county boundaries. So, for example, Charter, because they operate a video service, they pay the county a certain amount of money for a franchise fee because of the usage of our property and our lines, our utilities, and all those things. What the Terry Law Firm is maintaining, they started with a lawsuit that began with Bulls Gap. But what the Terry Law Firm is saying is that HolstonConnects would owe Hawkins County a franchise fee beginning now, and would also have to make correct the franchise fees they haven't paid up until this point from when they started operating. And so there has been a lawsuit filed. I know that it's in the process of, it's in the court, it's working its way through. But by signing on to this lawsuit with the Terry Law Firm, essentially to ask HolstonConnects or to require them by court order to pay those franchise fees, we would then become part of that settlement. It's very similar to the way that we signed on to the Baby Doe money. It just would be, instead of Baby Doe, it would be a franchise fee for HolstonConnects operation within Hawkins County.
Thank you.
This money would go where if we receive it? General fund or what?
Solid waste.
Solid waste. Okay.
It's going to be a long road.
Yeah.
We would expect, HolstonConnects has fought this for years. They've been asked to do it for years, but now the lawsuit may, bring it to some sort of conclusion. But the lawsuit may stretch on forever because if they lose, there will be an appeal, and so forth and so on. But yeah.
And it will not cost us anything
No.
if we lose.
Right.
We only stand to benefit if we would prevail.
Right. And I talked to Brack several times. It's a hefty sum of money. It's 7 figures.
Or if you said the solid waste, what determines that?
You all set it up as such. Solid waste used to be a transfer from the general fund. You guys picked some revenues just because they equal roughly the offset what would be needed to fund our solid waste department. And so, you don't want to get overly excited about the back pay, but looking at the annual revenues, it may allow you to farther lower the cap on that local option sales tax to defer it to an additional fund that needs more help, like our general capital projects fund that saw a reduction in its tax rate this previous budget cycle.
And under what, this might be more of a legal question for the attorneys, but under, how have they not been doing that this far? What is the reason?
They just refused to do it.
Well,
Okay.
what they argue is that they are not, the way that Tennessee Code Annotated reads is that they qualify to pay that franchise fee if they offer a video servicing platform. And what they're arguing is that they don't offer a video servicing platform because they are an internet service provider. But in other applications that they have made for operation, they have called themselves a video service provider.
Gotcha.
So there's a little bit of.
They provide
That's following the
television.
judge.
And they provide television.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know, it's pretty cut and dry that they're a video service.
gotcha.
So,
Okay.
so Eric, so we could decide, this could continue to roll into the solid waste annually, or we could move it into a separate fund, like general capital projects, correct?
I mean, it just depends how y'all want to structure it, because there's nothing that legally binds the cable TV franchise fees to solid waste. It's just the resolution that you all passed way before you all were here to establish something that would offset against that fund.
And one thing we do need to remember as well is that that money, due to any type of settlement that we may enter into, could have strings tied to it as a result of a settlement. I mean, you never know what they're going to do. So, same thing with Baby Doe. There were strong suggestions, I think, from the court on that money on how we were supposed to use it, but we really don't know what would happen. I guess we have to burn that bridge when we get there.
The judge can put additional restrictions on funds and on settlement.
All right, any other questions? Okay, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll on this one, please?
Tom Kern,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Danny Alves,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
and Joshua Gill.
Yes.
5 yes, motion carries.